Okay, this is video number 3. So the next part we're going to do is figure out how you want them to be laid out. And we're going to start our hinge process. And see how, let's put her. Where's my other girls? Okay, so there's a girl. And there, okay, wait, we can't have two girls together. And then we'll have this girl over here. And then it'll be a surprise when we flip it all out, how the whole thing works. Right? Right here. Okay, we'll call that good. Not rocket science. Okay, so from here, we're going to want to look at how we want to hinge and what we're going to use as hinges. Okay, so I definitely want to use some of this tape, but I wanted to show you. So here's another type of tape, which is masking tape that you could use. And you can also make your own, washi tape or hinges. This is really cool. Not only is the color cool and would make a really great hinge, but you can make, so let me show you. You could make a hinge just by taking a regular piece of paper and putting it on there like this, and then cutting it off. And make a hinge, so on one side it would look like that, on the other side it'd look like this. I wouldn't recommend that you put it directly on here. I mean, I guess you could, but then it's going to show through on the other side. So, but basically you're going to want to hinge, you're basically going to hinge on both sides. I mean, that's the way I'm going to do it, because, or you could hinge it like this one could be hinged on this side, this one could be hinged on that side. And then you need to decide how close you want it together. But as you can see here, if you've got this hinge on that side, you're going to see that the back side of that hinge. Now, if it's like this, it doesn't matter. That looks okay. But something like that, I don't know. I don't know if I would want that. Where's that little piece of fabric that I have? I've got a little hunk of fabric here someplace. I used to have so much fabric. Oh my gosh. I gave all that fabric away, and here we go. Here's a little hunk of fabric that would make a really cute hinge. And so it would look okay on either side. Here is an embroidery thing paper. It would make a cute hinge. So let's start, and let's start here, and we're going to put this guy on here like this. Now, if you were going to want to sew like here, if you were going to want to sew your hinge, you could either, I would sew it now. Does that make sense? I would put your X's on there now, if that's something that you were going to do. So let's put this on here. I would suggest that you just have a tiny bit. Where's my thing at? Now there are also other videos out there. Great videos. See how we're doing here. That show you how to do all of this kind of stuff. So mine is not the know-all, be-all in the least. Now you could also sew with your machine. Put some machine stitching on there. See how like this one is. I'm going to just use that as an element. So let's see here. Let's see what's on this side. So let's put this in here. So don't hesitate to go out there and look at everything else that's available, because there are wonderful, wonderful artists out there. And some of them I know are in our group, and they make wonderful videos and very inspirational. So I encourage you to go out there and visit their what do you call it, channels. You know, another one I like too is Tina Shabby Dabby Doodah. I love Tina. She does great videos. She also flies by the seat of her pants, which I really like. Okay, so now we got that one. Probably still, let's see, I don't know. We'll see when it comes to that, and once it gets all dry. Okay, how about if we hinge this? Yes, that looks good, huh? How do I want to do this? How far in? Oh yeah, see, I'm just going to use that natural fold there as the hinge part. I mean, you want to say, if it's paper, save it. And I know that can get to be a lot. I know. Make sure that it's even. Let's put a little bit of this on here. So I'm sorry I'm not more chatty. I mean, you know, Tina is, she is excellent at chatting. I can't say that that's my, let's use this one instead. Now, if you were here in person, oh yeah, I'd have all kinds of stuff to say. Oh, don't you love that? All right, let's move on to this one. Let's see here. this on here. These are Kay Buckley scissors. If you've ever used Kay Buckley scissors, they are phenomenal. And let's glue this. I'm putting the hinges on now because for the most part, I don't want to, I kind of want to know where they are placed so that if I were to put a little pocket or something on here, you know, then like if I were putting a pocket, which that looks really cute, so I'm going to put that on there. Then I would know that the hinge isn't going to cover it up. But if, you know, if you're okay with your hinge covering it up, then that's okay with me. Okay, now what kind of hinge do we want here? Let's see here. Let's use some of this. This is masking tape. Tear it like this. I forgot I used this. And this could be, I'll use that on the other side though. And I don't want it quite this wide, so I'm going to tear it down a little bit. Get it off my finger. No, I don't want that there because I don't want to cover that edge up. Oh, goodness. Well, now I'm going to cover the girl up. That's all right. We'll cover the girl up. It's still a little too big. We're not going to cover her up completely, just part of her. Still too big. Now this tape is so sticky, I can't hardly get it off my fingers. And watch, it won't stick on the paper. Yeah, that worked out okay. Yeah, let's put a little something right here. Put that there. This is just a plain old piece of paper. Yeah, I'll put something down here. This one's kind of, That fabric is really thin. So something else in here. Yeah. Okay, so just as a reminder, if you didn't want your hinges to show, you're going to put those on first, and then you're going to layer on top of it. But be flexible. Now I'm going to let this dry. Made a mess there on my table. Dang it. Need to get paper towels in here. So it's going to be like this. Okay. Now we're going to need to let that dry for a minute. Let the hinges dry before we go to the next step. Okay, I'm back. So this is dried, and the hinges have dried, and I have added a closure, a tie. This is the way I choose to do it. I don't have any idea how this one was done. I don't see a tie on there, but this is the one that this is what I chose. This is Hug Snug or Snug Hug ribbon, which is awesome. And you can see how you can, crinkle it and stain it, and it just turns out awesome. So I chose to do it with a tiny staple there, which does show through on the other side, but that's no big deal because I can cover that little tiny bit up with something else when it comes down to it. And then you'll just wrap it around twice and then tie it in a square knot. If you wanted it to be in a like a bow, then you would want to leave yourself more ribbon, more length. But I'm going to use a square knot. Okay, so that's that, and I'm going to show you. This is the. It looks like it's Iris brand. I think I got it. So it's craft thread. I'm sure I got it at Hobby Lobby, and some kit, or not kit, whatever I'm trying to say, lots of it, different colors. And so this is a piece of linen that I had in my scraps. You can see here that I already had some stitching on here from machine, and I don't have a way to show you machine stitching because the camera isn't by my machine. So I can do that in another video if you are interested. It's just, real simple. But in this case, you want to use a heavy duty needle. You don't want to use anything fine with a big enough eye that you can put this heavier thread through. And I did not use a knot because you don't want the knot to show through. So you're just going to put a bit of glue on the back. So you're just going to come up and leave yourself enough room that you can kind of stitch over the top of that. Now this is the way I do it. You can do it any way you want to. See how I caught that? And do the same thing here. So you're going to come down like this. I'm sure you guys know how to do this. And then just come straight up. And then that makes that curved or at an angle. Same thing, come down like this. Go straight up. And depending upon how many you want, 3 is an odd number, 5, 4, whatever. See how I've caught that? Come down, go straight up. So that's 4. That looks pretty good. Kind of straighten them out a little bit. Okay, so now you're going to cross. You're going to come back over here into this same hole, and you're going to come up into this same hole, or pretty close. Just kind of like you do with cross stitch, because that's exactly what it is, a cross stitch. Into this hole, up through this hole. You can use embroidery floss. Now these are all side by side. You don't have to put them side by side if you don't want to. That's why I chose to do this one, and I'll show you how to do the other one too. Let's go over here. So these are all side by side, like that. This one is going to be different. These are going to be individuals. And instead of going straight up like you did here, you're going to go off at an angle. And I'm only going to do 3 of these since they're spaced out. I love stitching on my stuff. And then again, come at an angle rather than straight so that they are individual. After this, I need to check my time. Okay, so there's 2 different types, or 3 actually, because this one is machine stitched. Let me check my time here. Okay, so I'm at 23 minutes. And so I'm going to stop this video, and then I'm going to go to the next one.